Welcome everyone. We have the MPU-02 Ramjet. This is a third-party product using a original Takara design for the 2.0 Seekers, but modified to be a Ramjet. Now, there's been a lot of speculation about this and the previously released thrust. Are these leaked molds? Or are these really, freshly tooled uh, design, engineering, copied product? Who knows? One day, if we get an official Ramjet thrust Dirge 2.0, we'll find out. But those Takara molds really are just out of sync with the newer engineering. That whole design was kind of weird to begin with as an attempt to have like a modern jet with modern jet proportions. A lot was sacrificed in robot mode. The 2.0s are a whole lot better. So, I guess time will tell. The box does a lot to replicate what the Takara releases looked like, although they had more of a, they had kind of like this orientation where Ramjet stood this way. But, kind of the color palettes, the iconography, even the way some of these shots are done are kind of borrowed from the original Takara release. Especially when you get to the back, different, but similar, to how Takara would show the figure and then kind of show all the stuff that it can do and then show all the accessories. So all this is very reminiscent of that. So let's get this out of the box. And you're going to get a lot of stuff. So as you see, you get a full Takara stand, a recreation of that stand, done in black. So you can put that together, and then you got the rail system, and you can do that whole thing. Me personally, I don't like using the stands, but I also don't display these in vehicle mode. You get a instruction booklet poster type thing that is in full color, so that's kind of cool. And he is laid out in the tray like this. His wings have fallen off, so we'll check on that in a moment. But he's got his regular null rays, and he's got the kind of bomber missile style weapons. He's got a flight stand adapter, 2 extra faces, and 2 blast effects. And looks like these just peg in. There's a slot, and there's 2 deeper slots, and you can see these 2 little nubs on the end. So they go in okay. I guess you could glue these down if you were concerned about them staying on well. And again, you got the null rays. I believe these are like the Takara ones where they can convert. Yep. Just trying to remember how to do this. Yep. So they can change into the smaller version. They've got the handgun gimmick. And these have to be used in combination with these. Oops, you got to put it in the smaller mode for this to work. So you would do that, and then trying to remember how these go on. There's holes further back on the wing, and I think you're gonna end up doing this. Yeah. So you can, this is not a good demonstration. Let's see if I can get it in there a little bit further. So you can do that, and then you've got that look. These do keep falling off. So they're probably not getting pushed in far enough. I might take a heat gun to it to try to loosen up, expand this groove to get them down in it a little bit further. But they do have the regular Seeker, the 2.0 Seeker wheels landing gear. A little difficult to get out though. So you probably want to use a spludger or some tweezers. These do appear to be metal and they are painted, so I would be careful about what you grab them with. That guy is in there really good. Okay. And then we've got the landing gear down here. Okay. Took a little effort, but there. So we got that look. And these can be used as blast effects, I believe. Actually, they can't. All right, so these are only exhaust effects. And these do not really fit very well for some reason. They will go in, but they don't like the shaft is not very deep, so they're not going to get very well secured on there. It is unfortunate that these can't double as glass effects. Yeah, definitely doesn't work with that. Definitely does not work with that. So just something else to be aware of. Um, they do have the opening cockpit. Looks like out of the package, this thing was closed up. So you do need to pull the seat back. Very bright yellow seat, kind of like that, kind of stands out. There we go. And overall, it is pretty nice. I think the plastic Feels like Takara. The paint seems nice. It seems almost completely painted. Let's see, the nose cone has the radar dish. This is part of transformation, so this needs to open. Yeah, it's nice. Colors look good. Stripes here look good. Underside is relatively clean, like the official Seekers. So very nice vehicle mode. So we're going to get this into robot mode, and then we're going to do some comparisons, because if this is going to be our official Ramjet, we need to see how this guy looks with other Masterpiece figures. So let's take a look at the robot mode. And a couple things to note about transformation. This is shown off in the instructions, but this piece slides up, and when it slides up ever so teeny tiny amount. It doesn't need to go very far, but it was really hard, like it didn't want to move, and just kind of be aware of that. And then working the chest section, you need to pull this down just like the, MP52 releases. But this joint just did not want to move. It still is not moving very well. One thing I would recommend is getting a spludger in and kind of opening these sections, because I think the paint is making it so that it's kind of grabbing more than it should be. That's probably going to help get this to come down. Like, it just does not want to do it. And there's hardly any clearance here. Kind of feel like there's something else that should be happening, but I'm really afraid of breaking this. It may be engineered in a way where it's not going to break, but it just does not want to come loose. So I'm still struggling with it. I would just, again, say be careful, because, this isn't the worst plastic, but it's not all that thick either. So just be careful with that part. So here he is in robot mode. And as I demonstrated a moment ago, I had a real hard time with this back section. Ended up just kept prying at it, and kind of helped pulling the pieces outward a little bit. But I eventually got it to move the way I wanted, and as you see, it got transformed. Collapsing the head was really different on the difficult on this guy. And if you notice that the head is like super loose, it is not pushed into the joint. So best thing to do is to turn the head this way and then push until you feel it snap. So just kind of be aware of that. Other than that, I got some like white flecks of paint on me from transforming it. He does seem to be fully painted. There's some real minute areas where like black paint has rubbed off. It's not bad at all. You probably wouldn't even notice it, but just kind of be aware of it. Like, just don't be surprised is basically what I'm getting at. Outside of that, he looks perfect. Yeah, this is nice. He has these panels that open, here, I don't know what this is for. Whatever this is for might be for some feature that wasn't included. I don't know. There's no reason for it to open up like that. So there's nothing that you can put in there. It doesn't help with transforming it at all. It just does it for some unknown reason. Another strange thing is that there was tape here, here, and on the front of the thighs, just the front. And I mean tape, not like that film that kind of adheres to plastic, like actual tape. So just make sure you remove that um, when you're transforming it for the first time. Didn't talk about this a whole lot, but he does have the adapter stand piece. He comes with the yelling face. I went ahead and took that out and gave him kind of the stoic face. He's got another face that you might say it looks like the normal face, but there is like a little bit of a smirk. So the three faces do give you different expressions. Okay, so here he is with the MPU-01 Ramjet, and I think they look good together. Kind of fit the bill. They got the look going on with the jets. Here he is with a Takara Skywarp, and like shoulder to shoulder. Actually, I think I got this shoulder down a little bit. Yeah, they are the same height. Skywarp's gonna look bigger because he's got, the dimensions of his helmet are, kind of wide, where the cone heads, they've got this very, narrow cone thing going on, so it kind of makes it seem like the heads are smaller. The faces are the same size. Yeah, if anything, the face might be a teeny bit wider, but you got a larger block for this, helmet around his head. You got this very narrow, streamline look for this guy's head. And then here he is with Megatron. And scale-wise, this is accurate. You wouldn't think that, but it is accurate. And here he is with a Fans Toys Aerobot. And the first time I saw an Aerobot and one of these in, the Seekers together, I was like, oh man, they really messed up the scale here. But when you look at the scale charts, these guys are bigger than the Seekers. Very interesting. So there is that. Overall, good release. Yes, if Takara would make one, I'd prefer to buy that instead than a third party. These guys are very sturdy. They seem to be sturdier as far as like the legs and whatnot than the official releases, like especially Starscream. Starscream's probably got the loosest legs out of all of them. They're fully painted, which is nice. Maybe even to a detriment because, the paint might rub off with extensive play and posing, but, they do all the things that you would want them to do. They are compatible with other releases with blast effects and stuff like that. So they will fit in with your Masterpiece collection, no problem. Let me know what you think. If you haven't done so, please like and subscribe. And as always, please tune into more videos coming up. Thank you.